Hello YouTube, it's me again, I'm Bloke, and well, what am I bringing you today after perhaps, 6 months of not making any content? Blame my other commitments. Well, today I'm going to bring you some Rising Storm 2. Now this is a game a lot of people have asked me about, and don't worry, I am totally on board, going to be doing loads of videos on it, blah 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 blah. So I better explain a little bit about my absence, and more importantly, this game. So first of all, my absence, I have been writing a book, and it's now at the publisher, so it means I've got time to actually sit down and record videos again. Oh my god, it's almost like I am almost organised. So, second of all, my involvement with Rising Storm 2. I haven't been allowed to talk about it for a while, but I have been playing this game for a while now. And that is because I was very lucky and was selected to be a alpha tester, and the reason I was selected to be an alpha tester was my YouTube channel, so brilliant, I ain't complaining. So I was an alpha tester, I'm also now a beta tester, and I've checked online, other people have made videos playing the beta, so as far as I'm concerned I can make videos playing the beta. But before we get into that, I just want to briefly talk about your characters in Rising Storm 2. So, as you can see on the screen right now, is the character creation customization screen, if you want to call it. And what's excellent is they've managed to integrate the leveling up system with your character model. So this is a PAVN, I'm assuming this is like the North Korean arm, not North Korean, well that would be cool, North Korea. This is the North Vietnamese army, and you can see that as you level up you actually get to choose different types of uniform. Now, I could access this in the alpha, but as it's gone into beta, we haven't been able to use this, and also all the servers are unranked, so none of the stuff is actually saved. However, you can see very closely that there are different types of pants and shirts. You can change their undershirt stuff, faces and all that, and hair colour, helmets, glasses and tats. So there are 4 factions, 2 on each side. The North Vietnamese army, and these are more like the Viet Cong, the United States Army, and the United States Marine Corps. Now I have already actually been mucking around with the character creating system, hence why they all look a little bit different than the basic ones. One thing I will say as well is there is absolutely zero performance issues that I've noticed when I'm playing the game. At the moment I'm at a solid 60 frames a second, but it drops down to about 40-30 when playing, but that is really not an issue at all. So that's all the character creating. Now one of the things which many people are curious about, including myself, is the helicopters. This is the first time that we've had flying vehicles in a Red Orchestra game, and it's the first game since the original Red Orchestra that we've got vehicles that people can get in and out of. In Red Orchestra 2 you spawned as a tanker in a tank. Red Orchestra 1 you spawned as a tanker outside the tank and had to sort of fight for the good why don't we have a quick look at some helicopter play. So when you're on the server screen, it does look a little bit different than normal. Down the side here you've got your class, in the middle you've got your loadout, and in here you've got squads. Now when you're a helicopter pilot you don't need to worry about any of that, but there are 2 roles to look at: combat pilot and transport pilot. Combat pilot flies Vipers, and the other one I can't even remember the name of, and transport pilots fly Bell Hueys. Now that does limit you to what helicopters you can go into, and I have had a slight issue that you can spawn and everyone's taking a helicopter and you just stand there at the spawn waiting for one to spawn. However, this is the tutorial, so we don't have that problem. So, spawned, you can get in one of these thingies or one of those thingies. I don't like them very much. These are much more fun to play with. Now there are 2 positions. When you go up to the helicopter it comes up with an icon. That symbol is the gunner at the front, and that's the pilot, and obviously we're going to be the pilot. Helicopter starts automatically for us, we don't have to worry about any of that, and the controls are incredibly simple and straightforward to use. So spacebar is the throttle, and when the engine is fully revved up, it will automatically stay at the hover level. Control is to lower the throttle of the engine, and when we get in the air, we'll show you a couple more bits and bobs. I'm actually now looking at 60 frames per second for the 60 frames per second, which is pretty fucking good. Okay, so I think I've got enough power to take off. So once you're in the air, it stays at the level that you can hover, and control is to lower it, and all you have to do is tap it and it will go down, and it automatically levels you out at the hover. And when you hit the ground, it goes all the way down to the bottom. The little symbol at the side there, when I go back down, there, with the man with his fingers up, means you're good to lift off. So, take off. Now you can use WASD to fly. W tilts you forward, S tilts you back, and A and D roll you. I prefer using the mouse. Now, to fly the helicopter using the mouse, which is what I'm doing now, to fly forward, you push the mouse forward, which lowers your nose like a real helicopter. If you want to stop or fly backwards, just gently lift it up, and to turn, just rotate the mouse and pull backwards. Now, in the Viper, which is this helicopter, we actually have two different types of weapons. We've got the FFAR rockets and the M195 machine gun. To fire those, it's left mouse for the rockets, and middle mouse, so the scroll wheel for the machine gun. So why don't we fly around and try to attack some villages, because this is just the flying training map. There are some very basic villages and stuff, no enemies, but we can still see what it's like to fly. Now, my only real complaint about the flying is it would be nice if you could look around the cockpit to you know, do your thing, but I suppose that you can't really do that because the mouse is for flying. So, like the original Red Orchestra 2, if you hold down shift you hold your breath, but I don't actually find any need for that. So, it's all about being fast and avoiding obstacles, but also not falling out the air or stopping. Whenever I've played as a helicopter, falling out the air, like I'm doing right now, is a very easy way to die and also be shot at because you're pretty much stable. So, boom, you're pretty much clearing everything out of there. Now, this is the test map, so some of the things pop in and out. Also, my frame rate has dropped to 30, back up to 60. So, if I actually stop and slow down, try maybe to get a little lower, we'll have a look at some of the effects on the trees, because the trees are dynamic with the helicopter blades. So all I'm doing now is hovering and lowering down, and when I get close to the ground I'll take my finger off the control button, and you can see that my airspeed immediately changes so that I'm hovering again. So I'm just going to try to turn around slightly. Okay, so I landed pretty close, Surprisingly easy to control this. Really surprisingly easy. Now, hopefully, the the branches will pop back into... There we go. So you can see that as I came close to them, they react like real leaves. Obviously, that will be more polished in the final game. It can be a little bit funny like that, but do you know, it's not too bad. Oh dear, my tail rotor hit the hit the tree. Now, I am actually now screwed, and I'm probably going to die. But you know, you can't actually leave the helicopter while airborne, so it's a death sentence. But I'm I'm not doing too bad. Take that. Okay, let's just crash, shall we? Oh dear, nope, this isn't going very well. There we go. Now, because it's the training mode, you are invincible, which is a little bit weird. However, that is the basics of helicopter flying. Also, I mean, this is not about the gun physics, but the way the pistol feels feels incredibly realistic, which is always good. So as a transport pilot, it's the exact same control scheme. It's exactly the same, except your job role is not to obviously be a combat pilot, but is rather to be a transport pilot. So your job is to ferry squads into battle, and as you can see, I can actually, well, I can't because I'm the pilot, but if I was an infantryman, if you look on the bottom left hand side of the screen, you can see that there are 6 positions. So this helicopter has 6 infantry, and either side of the helicopter is an M60 machine gun. When you're on the ground, so let's just pretend I've been flying around and I've dropped off troops. If I press right click, a thing saying get out comes on. This role is purely a transport role. It's not a combat role, but I think you must get points. I've not really been a transport pilot, I've never really tried it, but I assume that, you know, let's say I'm dropping off troops here. So this is where looking around would probably be a good thing, being able to see where you're landing, but well, that's not too bad for her. So I can tell, get out, get out, get out, and then I can be like, boom, bitch, flying away. And there comes the Lees. Woo! So there you go, that's the basics of being a helicopter pilot. Now, I will be playing some servers, but at the moment of recording, believe it or not, there are no servers. They go down for every beta session, for you to fill out questionnaires, and to do bug reports, that sort of stuff. But then it will be back up in the next beta session. Now, this is between you and me and the whole world, because everyone's watching this, but on the last game I was playing of this, before the beta sessions ended, I was playing with some devs, and in the chat they were saying a release date of May. Now that is incredibly interesting, because that's not that far off. The game does feel... How rude, the video cut off. I was going to say the game doesn't feel very polished at the moment, but it's you know, beta. And it won't be long till it's ready. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There will be a combat video soon when I get to play more. I hope you all watch this. I'm glad I'm back. Speak to you later.